FHFA stands for Federal Housing Finance Agency. There are some new guidelines, and I'm sure you've heard about this. The guidelines will allow someone with a lower credit score to purchase, and someone with a higher credit score is going to subsidize that lower credit score for better rates. I want to show you how this works, and I have a chart, and the chart specifically is from a bank, and it's a bank that I trust, and I'm not going to, of course, reveal where it's from, but I will show this to you because I really think that this is something we just need to take a look at. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's important that we take a look at this and that we know what actually affects the rates. Another acronym, and lending and real estate, and I need to say I'm not a loan officer, but lending and real estate are filled with acronyms. And so another acronym is LLPA. That's Loan Level Price Adjustment. And that's the chart I'm going to show you. First, what I wanted to do was hop into ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT has to say about the new subsidized program. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT is going to kick back some different scenarios. And so I wanted to see what ChatGPT says, and then I actually want to look at the LLPA guidelines, the Loan Level Price Adjustment, the LLPA, Loan Level Price Adjustment Guidelines. ChatGPT has given me a bunch of them here. And if we look at the new FHFA program, which aims to subsidize lower credit score borrowers, can have a significant impact on consumers, particularly those with a lower credit score. Here's how the program may affect you as a consumer. Number one, easier access to home loans. The program aims to make it easier for lower credit score borrowers to qualify for mortgage loans. If you have a lower credit score, this could mean that you have a higher chance of being approved for a mortgage. Okay, that's fantastic, and that's exactly I believe what FHFA is going for, I believe. Let's take a look and see. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT, if I am a consumer with a higher credit score, how can the new subsidy affect me? ChatGPT it did go into, and it said, as an AI cannot predict. What it does say is, if the new FHFA program is aimed at making mortgage lending more accessible to lower credit score borrowers, it might not have a direct impact on higher credit score borrowers. However, there could be indirect effects. For example, if the program increases demand for housing, could potentially raise home prices or impact the availability to certain types of loans. Additionally, if the program results in a higher rate of defaults, it might affect the overall mortgage market and could lead to stricter lending standards for all borrowers, including those with higher credit scores. So here is one thing that's in the market right now. I'm going to bring up this chart right now. Before I bring up this chart, one thing I do want to mention is there is a big question of whether or not this is going to make guidelines looser. That doesn't seem to be the case. It does not seem to be the case that they're making guidelines looser. What it does seem to do is that a person with a higher credit score is going to subsidize somebody with a lower credit score. Bottom line, and that's the way it is. Let me bring up this chart. Okay, so here's the chart. This is the chart for the LLPA. LLPA stands for Loan Level Price Adjustment. A loan level price adjustment is going to be when somebody purchases a home, there's going to be adjustments to the loan as far as pricing goes. This is an LLPA. This is from a lender, and this is direct information. So what happens here, and it's really easy to fall asleep on this one, but it's very important to see, is you're going to see positives all the way across the board here with somebody with a higher FICO score. FICO score is going to be, again, another acronym, right? But FICO score is going to be somebody with a higher credit score. So this is typically going to be zeros across the board many times. So the 97%, so 3% with a higher FICO score, you're getting 0.625 as an adjustment. So it's helping them with a lower rate. Many times, as you go across here with that higher FICO score, you're going to see that adjustment similar to this, but it's not going to be as much. And again, I'm not a lender, but I am telling you from experience, this is how it typically goes. So really what stands out to me here is that if you look at someone who has a credit score of 660, 640, 639. So these are not high credit scores, and these are high loan to values. In other words, this is saying that if you put down 3% at a 639 FICO score, you're getting an adjustment in your favor of 1.75%. If you put down as a 720, which is a good credit score, if you put down 30%, if you put down 20%, you're getting dinged at 0.5%. This chart is a real chart that lenders are using. These are loan level price adjustments. So this is how this is playing out. For better or worse, it is helping people. It is helping people who have a lower credit score. And there's no problem with that. And it is, however, on the flip side to it, if you have a higher credit score, it is subsidizing from the higher credit scores to the lower credit scores, or from the higher credit scores with less down to the higher credit scores with more down. So the higher credit scores with more down are actually paying instead of the higher credit scores with less down. So regardless of how you look at it, this is someone who has a higher credit score helping to subsidize somebody with a lower credit score, or has more money down helping to subsidize money with less down. Now, again, entirely up to you how you look at this. This is just information, and it's very important that we look at this, and we look at this in a true fashion. This is what it is. One other thing about this is that one thing I keep on hearing about is that it's going to make guidelines looser. So, for example, back in 2008, leading up to 2008, lending guidelines were very loose. This is not saying that we're going to have loose guidelines. This is not saying that anybody is going to be able to get a mortgage again. This is saying that if you have a lower FICO score, it's going to cost less. And if you have a higher FICO score, it's going to cost a little more. And that's what it's saying. I don't feel like this is a big reason to panic. It's up to you on how you feel about this. I'm happy to talk about it, and I love having these conversations. Give me a call if you have any questions, and I'm always here and happy to talk. Thanks.